What up, guys? Mad Scientist 7890 MVP Shear on the RSTS Express Wrestling Channel, bringing you the reviews, finally, of Day 1 and Day 2 of Showdown in the Sun. Before we get into any of this, we would like to talk about the absolute just ridiculousness of Go Fight Live. I really don't think this... I'm hoping it's not Ring of Honor's fault, because if this is a lot of Ring of Honor's production issues here, they're really in big trouble for a lot of stuff heading into the future. But, I mean, the situation they had here was we didn't watch the first show live. We watched the Dragon Gate show and made a good decision by doing that, paying, $2 for that, and, watching the replay of...
And would you say it was better than both two Ring of Honor shows?
Yeah, I'd probably say it was still even better than both Ring of Honor shows. I think, as of so far, I think Ring of Honor's had the top 2 matches of the weekend so far.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think as an overall show, I think Dragon Gate USA had the best show Friday so far. Still have Mercury Rising, but we'll get into that with a review later on tonight. But
tonight, 7, buy it.
Yeah, it's probably definitely worth it. I'm sure there won't be any stream issues. But with this situation, let's explain what we did here. Like I said, we got the replay. Watched part of it last night. They said part 1, part 2. Yeah. And then halfway through the Steen and Generico match, it cuts completely off, and they didn't put the finish of that.
I think they thought they had the entire show up, because it was part 2 of 2.
Yeah.
And then this morning, it was still part 2 of 2. And then it didn't finally get fixed till after the show. They were like, part 2 of 2. And then in quotations, it was like, and the final match. So, I mean...
Yeah.
They finally caught it. I know people were really pissed off. British Fist kept making posts about how they were getting banned off boards and stuff because they were bringing it up and nobody was doing anything about it, and they were pissed because it's WrestleMania week and they just wanted to see the show. But that's Ring of Honor's bad. No matter if the technical issues were Go Fight Live or anything like that, somebody should have made sure that show was up right away. Should have watched it all and made sure the entire show was on there before you put part 1 and 2, part 2 of 2, because it just ends randomly in the middle of Steen and Generico.
And there's still many faults of things going on right now.
My God, just
the way we watched it was we watched night 1 last night up until the halfway through Steen and Generico. We watched the night 2 basically live, and they had faults in that. Still stream issues. We missed 2 matches on that show. And there's a lot of people out there that did the same with us. Still missed those matches that we can't get a review. We don't know how good Coleman O'Reilly was partway through ANX and
Young Bucks.
ANX cut out. So we really don't know quite sure unless except for the people who are live. Apparently there was a power outage. So we missed those.
Brownout, which is I guess a less fatal version of a blackout.
I guess.
Power outage, but didn't help us. It was stopped for about 20 minutes and then. Finally, it came back on, and then it stopped again. It stopped again for another 5-10 minutes. We missed the whole match there.
So it's pretty kind of weird how we did it. Like you said, we watched night 2 live, and then after we watched the two main events from night 1. So we wanted to make sure we had most of this covered. We know Coleman O'Reilly.
We're missing a couple matches, 2 matches. Coleman O'Reilly, and I actually thought they could have been pretty good. I heard, we heard ANX Young Bucks was pretty good, but I don't think it was super special.
Either of them was worthy,
I don't think, maybe I'll go back and watch it once.
Possibly.
But, let's get right into the review. Shall we do that?
Shall we do, actually,
All right.
matches.
First match, Briscoes versus TMDK, the Mighty Don't Kneel. I still want to call him Team Murder Death Kill, just because I think it just sounds bad as fuck. It was pretty good. It was solid. It wasn't what I expected. If you watched our top 15 matches, I thought it was going to be a lot better. It was a solid 3 stars. It kind of just seemed weird that they kind of seemed to build up TMDK. They even showed a video package for their tournament and everything, and then just kind of have a regular match with the Briscoes, and then not even be on night 2. It didn't make much sense to me. But,
I don't really know. I guess they just kind of wanted to introduce these guys, maybe have a fresh matchup here. This was okay. It was a solid. I would say maybe like a flat 3-star type match. Tag match. It was okay, but I maybe would have expected a little bit more out of this, but
nothing groundbreaking.
Nothing groundbreaking, but okay.
Nothing what I thought of. Yeah. I probably was a little high on that, but oh well.
Yeah, so that was okay, but nothing, like I said, to jump out of your seat over. Next, we got Adam Cole. He defeated Adam Pearce, which was extremely random. I guess the night prior, there was a deal where Adam Cole had a match with Adam Pearce and almost beat him.
Pearce had to cheat to win.
Yeah, Pearce had to low blow him and basically use a pile driver, which is illegal in Ring of Honor. They have, Adam Pearce has clothes on here, you know, and it just was really weird.
It was an impromptu match.
Basically,
Cole came out there and, you know, was like, I could beat you tonight. And he was like, well, let's get it on. And Cornette's like, no, I don't know if we can do this. It's NWA rules, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. So they start having a match. It was like 4.5 minutes. I mean, it just seemed just random as all hell. I mean, I don't think they added the match in there because of the fact of the stream being bad. I think it was actually a serious thing. They were actually going to... I think they're trying to get over Cole and Pearce and maybe even Cole winning the NWA World Heavyweight title eventually. But just... I don't know. It was fine for what it was. It was like 2 stars. But, I mean, it just... There was nothing that I was like, just... I don't know. Just,
it had a couple of good spots. So much just,
you know, I don't even care. I don't have anything to say about it because it just wasn't that important to me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it really wasn't much of anything. Cool.
It didn't make sense to be on the show.
Yeah, cool to see Cole get a win over Adam Pearce. Hopefully, we could see Cole maybe win the NWA title, have some, you know, matches in Ring of Honor. That'd be interesting. Next, we got the All Night Express defeated the Young Bucks here in the Tornado Tag match. You know, 8.5 minutes. 8.5 minutes. I mean, it was just a short match. I mean, abruptly ended. You know, had some interesting spots. You know, it just wasn't like, I don't know. Just, you know, the point we're going to get to with a lot of these matches for the majority of this is Ring of Honor is just become just massively just average.
It really is.
Like,
a lot of the matches are just mediocre.
Like,
and
you know, they really, you know, we'll get to the couple special things that happen on, you know, both these shows, but for the majority of these shows, it really just felt like both of these shows were set up like they were their television shows, and they were just filler matches, and it's just they really glorified squashes. You think at a WrestleMania weekend, B show. It really felt like it was a house show. Like, you know, here in St. Louis, I would go to a Collinsville show, and you know, it would just be, you know, just subpar, and that's really what both these shows felt.
If you take away like 3 matches from these shows, it's fucking terrible. It's hard to sit through. It was hard to sit through. And
it was a chore. That's the thing. The first 4 or 5 matches of both nights were a chore to sit through.
We were burnt out. We didn't even we were sitting there. We were like, you know, I don't even want to watch this match. Like Lethal and O'Reilly, we were both just like, you know, it's good stuff, but it's like I just do not fucking care at all. And maybe it's because it was like 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, which is partially Ring of Honor's fault because, you know, everyone wanted to see the show. So I mean, that's the first time they can watch it. That's the time they're going to watch it. But then today wasn't really any better. I was well rested and I just did not care. Once the stream first cut out, I was just kind of lost in the show. I was just uninterested with the rest of it because I thought they could just cut out at any time.
It really was a chore to sit through. It was kind of like, I think the best, what would you say, a Tootsie Pop? You have to Tootsie Pop steaks.
Just lick a whole bunch to get to the center?
You just get to the what would just have to...
It's just like a cheese Danish. Like, just the middle part was really fucking good. But the outside... Just not have been that great. I just had a cheese Danish, so I told him I was going to work that in there somehow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's how I feel about this.
But like I said, we'll get on here. Jay Lethal versus Kyle O'Reilly for the...
No, but we skipped over the Tomasso Ciampa ring interview, which lasted like 10 minutes on an pay-per-view. I'm sorry,
sure,
I do not pay, you know, I guess $10 basically for this show to watch. Just you know, this could happen on TV. It seemed like it should have happened on TV, and just why didn't they do Lethal Ciampa on one of these shows? They didn't even have Ciampa. That's another big thing. They didn't have Ciampa wrestle on this show. They didn't have Elgin wrestle on this show. They didn't have Mike Bennett wrestle on tomorrow's show. They put Ciampa in a squash match. You know, Elgin, the guy who had the best match of the whole entire weekend, only wrestles once. Luckily, they got El Generico in there for night 2.
I really think
TMDK didn't wrestle night 2.
Yeah, I really think R.D. Evans is a guy that they really should use a lot more. I think he's great at cutting promos and very entertaining. But other than that, I mean, I really that promo was just immensely just way too long, and I really didn't care for it. But they did this whole setup where they, you know, told him he had to bring back the, you know, TV title, or they were going to suspend him without pay and all kinds of shit like that. But you know, it just kind of added to kind of a storyline, but it really didn't help this match at all. This match was pretty solid up until this time, probably the best match on the show. You know, just.
Did you even introduce the match?
I mean, yeah, you know, Jay Lethal defeated Kyle O'Reilly in basically
12 minutes.
About 12 minutes. It
was okay.
You know, it just something about this TV title. It just kind of Jay Lethal and just can't. Just all he has is just 3.5-star matches or lower. He just can't provide anything like.
He's the epitome of, like we said, he's the epitome of 3.5-star matches.
Like, he has good matches, but he never gets to that next step.
He doesn't have. Does he not have a moveset? Does he not just have just the crowd?
He has everyone. He has people behind him.
He should have all the stuff to get to a better thing. I kind of felt like when watching this, I kind of felt like it was just like a shortened version of what like Richards Edwards would be, just like a 12-minute packed in, just less overkill spots. But like Kyle O'Reilly is basically like a Davey Richards. Jay Lethal's a pretty athletic guy. They had that MMA style striking match. It just didn't really fit here. Kyle O'Reilly's just trying too hard, and he just comes. I just hate Kyle O'Reilly. I really do.
I'm totally over Kyle O'Reilly right now. Yeah,
he's one of the worst promo men. He's as bad as Ricochet on the mic. I would say he's pretty freaking bad there. If you've seen Ricochet, just great athlete, terrible on the mic. Kyle O'Reilly's a pretty good athlete. He just doesn't look like just a good wrestler. Just like some of that shit.
Yeah, I would agree.
His look is not very good. The fans aren't really behind him. He kind of just acts like a dick, and I think that's how he is in real life. And his promo skills are terrible, and yet he's being this is I want to bring this up. This is a problem with Ring of Honor right now. They're shoving too many guys down our throats that we don't want. Instead of having an organic, like just people organically get over with the fans, like Zack Ryder did in WWE, they're trying to shove down Ciampa. They're trying to shove down Bennett. They're trying to shove down Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. They're trying to throw these guys at us instead of just letting them organically get over. You know who organically got over night 2? Michael Logan.
Yeah.
Got over huge. We'll get to that. But
yeah. Next, we'll get to the next match here. That was a little mini rant on O'Reilly, but
it's just a rant on just people. This Ring of Honor's problem is they're shoving people down our throats instead of just letting them just go out there and do their thing.
Yeah.
They're trying too hard to make stars when they have none. They should just let them just go out there and just figure out who's the stars on their own.
So. But next we got Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team. They defeated Cedric Alexander, Caprice, Coleman here. Like 10 minutes. I'm surprised this match got 10 minutes. I mean, it was literally just a glorified squash. Every time you really thought they were going to do, Coleman and Alexander were going to do something, they always shut them down, and it just never got to a point where you could see.
They had a couple moments.
They had a couple interesting moments, but other than that, I mean, 2.5 stars, I guess. I mean, it had a couple of good spots. The finish was pretty good with Benjamin doing his thing, but. Other than that, I mean, this was just another really unneeded match.
Not even much to talk about. It shouldn't have even been on the show. Why? I don't know. Next match.
Next, a very surprising match to me, and I actually quite enjoyed this, which was actually Mike Bennett versus actually defeated Lance Storm in 15 minutes. We talked about Lethal always bringing in those 3.5 star matches and not being able to get higher than that. Bennett actually reached a 3.5 star match, in my opinion. I haven't seen him do. I mean, he doesn't really think so.
It was a rat. It's probably 3 to 4.
Yeah.
3
I actually think this quite possibly is the best match he's had in Ring of Honor since he's been there.
Maria looked just super damn.
They looked great. Maria and Bennett matched. I'm actually behind the idea.
They could have been a World One International, just with the pink and everything.
Goodness. I think it's okay to possibly try to force one guy down our throat, but. Like maybe Bennett could work, but Ciampa, and then you have all these other guys, like we were saying. I think Bennett could eventually get over, and he is over as a heel.
I think he could be like I said, I think Bennett should be bringing a world champion someday.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. But
it would be very interesting.
I like this match. Lance Storm looked great, and Bennett looked great. Like he could actually wrestle. There was no interference.
Storm doesn't even look like he's lost his step.
Yeah, Storm
looked really good.
Storm looked like an old man though.
He did, but he could still go with just the young boys.
So. But that's all pretty much out of that. But definitely, that would be a match I would definitely say worth checking out at least on this night one. Next, we got Kevin Steen. He defeated El Generico in a last man standing match, about 24 minutes. Yeah. This was great. This had a lot of really great spots because I was saying these guys have wrestled each other so many times that what can they do? And the atmosphere of where they're at, setting up different spots, is a smart move for these guys because. Generico did some spots that I've never seen him do with interesting things. Steen did some interesting things I've never seen him do.
When he ran across the barricade and that might be the sickest spot on the whole week.
Yeah, that spot was very, very well done. The whole setup.
The flip dive over the table.
Over the table. That was very good.
Announce table.
So, I mean, it's interesting to say here because, like, they always have good matches against each other here. This was probably the best match of this night at least. And probably... I'd say second best match of the weekend so far.
So far, yeah. Probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. They always do great things in the ring. This is definitely a match that we wanted to see. It was so aggravating last night. We sat through all that shit last night, and we could not finish this match or the main event. We were just so frustrated.
And I actually really liked the angle at the end. I actually really
yeah, we didn't even mention that. I didn't like that. I really didn't.
I liked it, and I loved the whole Steen when he got down on the knee and he pretended to fall.
He did the synchronization.
They were pretty synchronized. It looked pretty much the same. I liked the whole Jacobs thing. I thought it made a little bit of sense. I think they were going to turn him eventually.
I really didn't like the finish.
Somebody had a turn there, Carino or Jacobs. Somebody had a turn.
Yeah.
They couldn't all just be good guys against Kevin Steen.
Yeah.
You know, I liked that. I mean, I kind of hope that Jacobs and Steen don't become some kind of tag team. I kind of hope they just go their separate ways. Just Jacobs is evil with, you know, Generico, and Steen is evil with Richards or whatever. But it seemed, you know, they were hugging after the match and everything, and they were, you know, hanging all over each other and, you know, happy about what they did. So it seems like they're going to lead into something. Possibly, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where Ring of Honor's direction is with any of their show whatsoever. I mean, it seems to change every couple minutes. But main event, Davey Richards beat Roderick Strong and Eddie Edwards in a triple threat elimination match. About 21.5 minutes. This was pretty good. I mean, it was spot-tastic.
Yeah.
Both say a lot of spots. I did not like the fact that every time like someone had him in a submission or a pinfall, the other guy would break it up. And he said it's all about, you know, the ego thing. And I can get that, but at the same time, it's fucking dumb to me. It's really dumb to break up any of that stuff. If you, I mean, are you more in, you know, do you want to win the match or do you want to pin both your opponents to win the match? Like, you're going to make yourself feel that much better? I mean, it just doesn't make much sense to me. You know, Martini came out there, kind of distracted Edwards, so Strong rolled him up.
Yeah.
And then after that, Richards pinned Strong eventually, I believe. Or did he make him submit? I can't even remember. No, he pinned him with the kick.
Yeah.
And it was so deflating. Like, the crowd like, just wasn't even into the, you know, finish at all. It seemed like they just lost it there. But
yeah, I mean, this was a good spot, you know, type thing. They did what I thought they would do. But, man, I really would have expected a lot more. I expected a lot out of this.
Should have went longer.
I don't know if it really should have went longer. I think it should have been more like build up. The first 10 minutes they really should have worked a little bit on the ground. Like they should have really like worked, you know, doing some interesting stuff. Like I think that would have really worked, but I don't know. I liked it for the most part. I'd probably say about just 4 stars flat, just for the spots in general. But you know, it ended. It had a lot of hot, like I said, spots. But other than that, I mean, Generico and Steen was the match of the night for this. What do you say? 7.5.
7.5. Yeah, and Elgin came out after the match and powerbombed Richards. So that set up well the nice thing. He should have had a match, a squash match or just something to put him over. I think him versus Lance Storm could have put him over for the next night. I really do.
And here's the thing. A lot of stuff that happened on night 1 and on night 2 is very average and stuff that you would probably see on an undercard for WWE. But it's so just like just I can't even think of what the word is. It's just so like deflating and it's so just like.
It was.
Chore
It's a
to
chore to sit and watch 3-star matches that Ring of Honor puts on because just they're all kind of even carbon
the cultures come together. Like
I feel like you know how they say they have WWE main event style. I feel like Ring of Honor has their own style of wrestling.
Yeah.
That it seems like they all wrestle under. We'll go to the next show. The next I'll open up because he wasn't here at the time. El Generico. Well, first Jimmy Jacobs came out, cut a pretty good promo, saying you know sometimes evil wins and you know. I remember his line was, you know, I had been celibate for a year, and last night I had an orgasm by just, you know, attacking. When he first attacked Steen at Final Battle is when he said that he did, because he hadn't attacked anybody, hadn't used any spikes, any weapons or anything. He had just been, you know, a clean wrestler, and you know, he found out that you know that's not who he was. You know, he was the fucking zombie princess. He had risen from the dead, and you know, it feels great. And now he's gonna be an evil person again. Yeah. And then El Generico's music hit, and so I was pretty excited. I was like, they're ready just to start this show right. They're ready to start it proper. We're gonna have a good 3.5-star match here. We didn't really get that. It was another just kind of just bleh. It wasn't anything. It was 8 minutes. Jacobs defeated El Generico with a roll up. I thought it was kind of dumb that just El Generico just after a last man standing was just perfectly fine to go the next night. I mean. I know Steen went, but Steen won the match. That's the thing. I think if you lose the match, you should sell it a little bit. And he just came out there. He was fine. He got beaten by a roll-up. I mean, it was dumb.
Yeah, I really didn't catch any of this, and I really wasn't that big of a deal because, I mean, I like to see Generico. He's one of my favorite guys, but I really can't give you a full range. What do you say, 3-ish range?
Yeah, three, I guess. I mean, a lot of these matches are 3. I mean,
right
really,
at 3, yeah.
3.
Except for this one right here, next one, Tomasso Ciampa defeated Cedric Alexander, 5.5 minutes. Just to put Ciampa over as a beast. You know, did a cool spot on the outside, and the finishing spot with the knee into the corner was really just nasty.
It was pretty nasty. It might have been one of the best finishes of the night, besides maybe the main event.
Yeah, I mean,
it was actually a pretty good finish.
It's one
of the finishes I actually kind of liked and enjoyed. Because some of these finishes on these matches were terrible. My biggest thing here was, this is your WrestleMania weekend card. Yep. Why are you having squash matches on your WrestleMania weekend card? They don't have, I mean, they do at WrestleMania sometimes, but that's usually like the celebrity match. Usually it's not just a total squash match at WrestleMania.
Well, I don't know what they're are they setting up? Are they setting up more like for their next pay-per-view to be big? Like, I don't understand.
Does Ciampa beating Alexander do anything for him? No. And he attacked, you know, Caprice Coleman afterwards too. He gave him the Project Ciampa, which he actually did it pretty okay. It looked pretty good. It wasn't like a mess up or anything, which is, you know, first for him almost. But does it accomplish anything? He beat up 2 members of a tag team that is getting squashed out anyway. Like, he should be able to beat them, at least on his own. I mean, he beat Alexander. Alexander was knocked out, so then he came in and beat Coleman. I mean, it's not like he beat a whole tag team by himself. He beat 2 guys in 2, you know, different isolated incidents. We talked too long about that. Next match, you enjoyed this. I enjoyed this. TJ Perkins and Fire Ant. I think the whole Chikara thing, you know, Fire Ant just wrestled a totally different style than most of the Ring of Honor guys do, and so does TJ Perkins. So it actually ended up being a pretty fun little spot fest type match.
Yeah. I liked the work that Fire Ant did in this. It was interesting. It was a lot different than what we continue to see in Ring of Honor, and that's why I'm really hoping that these collision shows that they're doing together with Chikara here coming up in Chicago are going to be really good, because they're guys who haven't really faced each other in Ring of Honor and haven't faced each other like literally at all that I can think of. But you know, Perkins and Fire Ant here, I think, did a great job for the short amount of time given. I would say 3 1/4, probably one of my favorite matches on this whole show. Like, maybe even 3 1/2. Like, I liked it that much. I thought it was so entertaining, the little stuff that they were doing, interactions. But probably 3 1/4. It wasn't long enough. But now we're going to get to Kyle O'Reilly defeated Adam Cole.
We don't know how. We don't know match time. We don't know what the fuck happened.
There was a brownout. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Some kind of power outage during the match.
Which means there was not enough power to transmit the show on an internet feed. Supposedly the match still happened. Yeah. Supposedly the power was still there and the show. They just didn't have enough to actually transmit it out to everyone else.
It only could have went less than 15 minutes. I mean, it probably was like 12 minutes.
Kyle O'Reilly won here. I figured he'd win here. He needed the win.
Yeah, it was probably a cheap win. We really have no idea.
Probably 3 1/4. I mean,
3 4 4th range. Yeah, it probably wasn't amazing or great or anything, but it is whatever.
Intermission.
I seen it, but
intermission. They came back live. You think they're gonna, you know, fix it here? No, we have Young Bucks versus All Night Express, which started out. I mean, it started out pretty hot, and then just the feed just cut again.
Yeah, we got maybe a couple of minutes into this.
3 or 4.
3 or 4 minutes into it.
It looked like pretty good.
It looked like an interesting brawl from where we were at. Probably, like I said, another 3-star range type match. Probably nothing.
And it's great because the announcers like totally no-sold like all of this when they came back from the feeds. They were just like going into the next match. Like they weren't saying, "Oh, we're sorry we didn't give you Kyle O'Reilly, you know, Adam Cole. We're just moving on. It's intermission. Just you didn't miss anything." And just, I mean,
you have Cole win the last pay-per-view in the main event, and then you just
feel like he's not even on the show. Like, oh, we're showing highlight packages for him, but no, let's not actually have the match.
Yeah, and the Bucks, the all-night match, street fight, we don't even know how good that was. Probably, like I said, in the 3-something range. But.
And again, when it came back on, they were getting ready for Briscoes and World War Tag Team. Didn't make a mention of it, didn't anything. Just went on with their days.
Now, something hilarious happened. Our stream cut back in right in the middle of a Bennett Maria kind of segment promo. And he's talking about, we really have no idea what he's talking about.
It's the most over Mike Bennett's ever.
Yeah, it was most over he was.
Just had the time of his life.
Just, oh, God. And he's cutting promos on, we really didn't catch most of it. But what they did at the end of the promo was they had Maria and Mike Bennett make out for literally 30 seconds.
Probably.
Like, they were making out a lot, for a long time. And the crowd was chanting yes and clapping and, like, like they would do, like, a suplex and they would count. Like, the crowd was, like, counting Like how long they were kissing.
What was worse, that or the Larry Dallas scene thing? I mean, both of the things were just
kind of both
weird and out there.
They were both pretty random.
They
and
were both
hilarious,
pretty funny, but I mean,
you really wasn't much there.
I didn't get see, and we didn't really see the whole promo, so we have no idea why they just started making out. Was he just too horny at that time? Like, fuck it, I'm gonna make out on live pay-per-view.
I did not read that right there. That is absolutely hilarious.
What?
For the next match, we got the Briscoes defeated Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team. I was really hoping that this would be great, but it wasn't that great. It was okay, like another 3.25 star match. Nigel McGuinness says, I guess on commentary, we must have missed this, that Mark Briscoe has an IQ of 147.
Which is funny. I want to say something before we talk about the match. On last night's show, the Briscoes kind of got over in the Dragon Gate show a little bit, the Dragon Gate USA show. Yeah. During Pac and Loki lost his mouth guard, and Eric Cannon was like, Terry Funk ain't wearing no mouthpiece. And, you know,
Lenny
Leonard was like, where'd you hear that one from? I think I've heard that one somewhere. He's like, dim guys. And then Lenny Leonard's like, I think I heard that on the weather somewhere. In reference to Mark Briscoe doing the weather.
Yeah.
So that was actually pretty funny. I guess you want to read off what was said by Nigel McGuinness?
I already said it. His IQ was 147.
147, just not.
Yeah, Mark Briscoe's IQ is 147. That is just hilarious to me. Very disappointing. This is one of the matches I thought they really should have had to a higher degree, a higher level.
Both Briscoes matches were just disappointing.
Yeah, man, it just. God.
We were both.
I was just very disappointed with both of these shows. To be completely honest with you, the undercard was very sad, but that match, like I said, it was like 16 minutes, and like it just was very I don't know. The care factor was very low.
It was one of like the longest matches of the whole thing. Too. Yeah. It was probably the whole weekend. It was probably like the third or fourth longest match, which is not ridiculous in its own right. But when it's only 16 minutes, I mean, like it just seemed like they were just going through the show, just going through the motions, going out there. They already had a crowd of probably like at least 1,000 people there. Yep. Let's just go out and just have a random show, not even fucking try.
Getting
Let's
paid.
Be uninthused, uninspired. You know, just not even just no care at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say that nobody cares. I think Richards cared. I think Edwards cares all the time. I think Steen and Generico cared. You know, the guys that put on the pretty good matches. Elgin definitely was out there to make a name for himself. But just this whole show was just, I mean,
yeah.
It wasn't that anything was like super. Besides for like the stream issues, it wasn't that anything was super terrible. It was the fact that this show was it should have been just so much more than what it was.
Yeah, it should have been way more. And that brings us to our next match, which we thought would have been way more. Steen defeated Eddie Edwards here. Was like a roll up or small package. So it was a small package. Couple spots ended abruptly. I missed part of the match.
He missed like the last 30 seconds, but he's like, I'm gonna miss the finish, and nobody thought the finish was gonna happen. Then just Edwards had him in the Achilles lock. And just Steen rolled him up.
What I saw, probably
11 minutes? 11 minutes with a roll-up finish.
3, maybe. 3. I don't know.
It's probably 3 1/4. But, I mean, it started out pretty good. Just not much to say to that. I was highly upset about just the ending, just about that match. I thought if anything needed to save the show, that match and the main event needed to save the show. Thankfully, one of those did, but it's not even. We have 4 more matches before that.
Yeah, Roderick Strong defeated Jay Lethal
for the Ring of Honor Television Championship because Tomasso Ciampa came out there and was like, "I'll give you the title back and all, but if I give you the title back, I want you to be a man of your word. You know, Strong earned a match against you, so you got to face him for the title. And if you win, I'll give you the title back and say that you're better than me and shit." And Lethal was like, "Better prepare that speech before I go kick his ass." The problem wasn't the match. The match was fine.
Okay.
It was 3 1/4 probably too. It was 13 minutes. It didn't overstay its welcome. Were they not leading up to Lethal Ciampa for the title?
It seemed like that at 10th anniversary, Young was Rising. It seemed that one of these nights that match was going to happen and that Ciampa was going to win the title. Were they going to have Ciampa face Strong for the title, heel? Or are they going to just continue a blood feud, like have a blood feud between Jay Lethal and Ciampa?
I'm surprised. Strong got a huge pop when he won, too.
Yeah.
Like people were... And, Ciampa... Truth Martinez in both matches didn't get involved really at all in this night. But Ciampa got involved and cost Lethal the title. Threw him into the little... not guardrail. Fucking...
Post,
the ring post. And then threw him back in the ring. And then Roderick Strong did his little flip suplex backbreaker. And that was it. But that just ruins like a... I mean... No, it's not a money feud for them, but it's something. It's one of the actual feuds they have, and it was at least a little bit entertaining. And their match at 10th anniversary show is actually not too bad. So I mean, they just killed that. They kill any momentum they have, and they had a lot of momentum, I think, going into the show. And I want to say this, I think a lot of people are not going to buy Best in the World. At least not live. They may read about it, and if it's really fucking good, they may go back to it, but I don't think they'll buy it live. I don't think they'll trust Ring of Honor again to buy the show live. I think they want to...
I don't even... you see, a lot of people are
match
out there...
quality, too. I don't think people want to see it.
Yeah, that's the thing I was going to mention. People won't buy it because of the stream, but I think a lot of people that are original fans... Me and him are original fans of Ring of Honor. We started watching Ring of Honor in, like, 2006, 2007, when they were still really hot.
We had a couple shows in like 2004, 2005. We just didn't really ever get really big into it until
till about 2006 when it was really hot. And we know the original what Ring of Honor is, and we know that it's being changed. People who are fans of it now, and who like what they're doing now, it's just nothing compared to what they used to do 4 or 5 years ago. It's just such a shame.
And I'm sure some people think these shows were great.
But this next match here, the main event, is probably the only thing...
This is what Ring of Honor should be.
Yeah.
A lot of what they should be. This main event was fantastic. Davey Richards defeated Michael Elgin to retain the ROH World Championship. 26 minutes, 16 seconds, according to this. I remember in like 11 minutes in, you're like, they're on their home stretch.
It was.
It seemed like it was a home stretch for about 15 minutes. I give it 4.5. It's so close to 4 3/4. Yeah. Elgin just impressed the hell out of me.
Breakout match for him.
Best match I've ever seen him in. Just the submission exchanges reminded me of like just CM Punk, John Cena in their SummerSlam match when they kept going back and forth with that. There were just so many times. It was actually a match where I actually bought. I thought no chance Elgin's winning this match. I actually bought Michael Elgin winning this match while the match was going on. There were a couple times where it's like, oh my god, he's going to win. And that might be only my little minor gripe on this match was it was a little too much.
Yeah.
A little too much at the end. A little too much overkill. It was still fucking fantastic though. That's the only reason I'm going to go to 4 3/4. If they had a little bit more build, the fact when you have 11 minutes of, good build and then 15 minutes of overdrive, you needed a little bit more in there to, spread that out.
Yeah,
you needed, maybe another, 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes, of just build up, good solid ring work, some submissions, some wear down to really get over the epic match feel. It was still an epic match. I just feel like it just was missing kind of a middle part. It had like a start and then it had like the finish. And both parts together worked really well, but I think if they would have had the middle part and drug the match out a little longer and maybe drug out the killer spots they had where it's like they were going back and forth over just like murder spots, I think it would have been a little bit better. Not to hit on this.
It's really hard to even just say any of that because of how good this really was.
It really was really fantastic.
This right now is the best match of the week, and I find it really hard for this to be beat. It is so close, so close to 4 3/4. He thinks the 6-man from Dragon Gate is going to beat it, but it's very, very hard. I think it's going to be very hard to beat. This was great.
It is going to be hard to beat. I'm not going to lie. This
was one of their best matches they've had in a very long time.
This was what they needed to finish the show, but
they had to because honestly, if this ended,
we were ready to come on here and just shit on the entire card, the entire weekend because. At this point, they still didn't even have the 2 main events up for night 1. Yeah. So it's like what we had watched, we hadn't even seen like a 4-star match yet. I mean, we hadn't seen anything of great quality. And we watched the 2, and that shows how good the match from night 1 were, because we watched this first, and those matches were still held up pretty well.
Yeah.
But this match was just...
But, I mean, this match was great. This was a great match here, best match so far, and like I said, if you don't want to waste your time with the rest of the stuff, don't. Night 1, I mean, I would say Storm and Bennett. I would say Generico and Steen, and then the main event is pretty good with the triple threat.
If I'm being brutally honest, the 2 shows together are probably worth $20, but in terms of Ring of Honor quality, not very good. I mean. Yeah. It's kind of, I didn't think the 10th anniversary was that great either. I mean, they're just kind of just average shows. I mean, if you want me to be brutally honest, folks, I'll be brutally honest with you. You don't have to see either of these shows. But this main event itself is probably worth the $10 you'll pay on that show. Generico in the main event of that show is probably worth the $10 you'll pay for that one. It's probably still worth the $20. It's just not near what it could have been. Yeah. And it definitely doesn't compare to the $2 that Dragon Gate USA offered you with a near perfect stream.
Yeah. it just sitting through the stuff to get to the main events was very, very just aggravating. But once we finally got to the big payoffs, they were definitely, I mean, I guess worth it to some degree. This main event at night 2.
Richards and Elgin was worth it. It's a match I'll watch over and over again. It was freaking just great. It was everything it needed to be and better. It was the breakout match for Elgin. It was another, it showed Richards can still work pretty well in that system. Even though some people are tired of him, I'm a little tired of him. But that match itself is pretty fucking good. Elgin is easily the most impressive guy of the whole entire weekend for me so far. And he had one match. They didn't even put him on night 1. That's another thing I'm furious about. But just this, I mean, I think if watching it again, this could be an instant classic. It could be a match they look back on Michael Elgin's career in Ring of Honor, and this is like his starting launching point. It was in one word, epic. Yeah,
I definitely would say that. So definitely check out that. You know, they got the stream up on, if you paid for it and you had all kinds of problems originally. Go back, they have it up there, all the audio.
It's still it still stopped and cut in.
A couple times.
It didn't cut like the stream, but it'll just stop the stream completely and you have to hit play again.
Yeah,
it's just kinda,
but you can still watch it. Other than that, the audio's there. And then night 2, obviously, they're going to probably try to get that up because there's a couple of matches that people missed. So I definitely think maybe, I don't even know if we'll go back and watch those other 2 matches.
I'll probably, the only match, we probably won't watch the other match. I mean, maybe once, if I'm really fucking bored, I'd rather watch Richard Elgin.
The interesting question that we'll ask you guys, and we were talking about, with night 1 and with night 2 still having problems, we probably won't get a refund, but do you think the people who ordered these may get a cheaper kind of deal on the next pay-per-view?
I mean, I'm sure they were already planning on offering the next pay-per-view for $10 because they offered 10th anniversary for 10. I feel like that's the new price they're gonna go. Maybe they go down to 5, maybe as a sorry. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know, or a free pay-per-view, and I mean that's gonna lose them a lot of money, and maybe it wasn't their fault, and I really doubt they'll do that. But I mean,
we still have no idea. We still have no idea if it's Go Fight Live or Ring of Honor's fault. Really.
It's gonna take a lot of stuff for me to really want to buy the next pay-per-view. Like, I'm going to have to be assured that those matches are going to be good. Because I thought a lot of these matches were going to be pretty good. I thought we'd probably get,
one good tag match, maybe.
5 matches would have been about 4-star range. Or higher. We got 3. And I know that sounds like we're complaining and crying over that. But, I mean, it really...
Compared to last year, yeah.
I don't want to sit through 2 hours of crap to get to an hour of greatness at the end. I really... And it wasn't that it was just mediocre crap. And I'm sorry if, I think we're both at an age in wrestling where just mediocre stuff doesn't do it for us anymore. If a match is good, I don't care. I'm not going to go watch any of these other matches again besides for probably Richards Elgin and maybe Steen Generico. I probably won't watch the main event again. I may not even watch Steen and Generico again just because I feel like I've just seen it all there too. Richards and Elgin was the only eye-opening match of the year candidate match. And right now it's second on my list. I don't know where it is on yours, but it's only behind Nakajima and Shingo, and it's barely ahead of the Dragon Gate 7-on-7 for me.
So let us know what you guys think.
And that's high praise. I put a Ring of Honor match ahead of a Dragon Gate match. Show how much of a mark I am.
Whatever. So we're going to get out of here. Let us know what you guys think of this show, your faults, your problems. Let us know what you guys think. Do you think the whole massive mess of all the streaming situation and the crappy matches to that final match where the streaming was perfect, the match was perfect, the setting was perfect.
It was a perfect match to end their weekend.
Yeah, so...
But the rest of their show.
They left... That's the one thing that people always remember. The last thing that they do is going to be a lasting impression.
Are they going to drop the ball with Elgin? It's the big thing I want to know. Is if they're going to give him another big match, they're going to let him just go out there and just dominate people.
Who knows? Another video. Very, very long on this video. Very long. So we're going to get out of here.
It's 2 reviews, though. 2 for the price of 1.
2 for the price of 1. And it's free. So, and our stream,
fucking fantastic.
Won't cut out.
Look, this isn't going to cut out. Right?
See, look at that. Very blurry. We're going to get out of here.
It's still there, though.
Deuces, Mad Scientist, MVP Share. Peace.